Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Reuben, formerly known as Beau Oliver, joined here today with Aaron, and we are back to record another episode of the Nerd Soup podcast. What are we talking about today? Well, we're doubling up. We're going to be talking about TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival 2024. Aaron was accepted. I wasn't because of all my Kendrick Lamar propaganda. Goddamn OVOs. Canceling concerts, canceling Nerd Soup. It's crazy.
Yo, they posted up outside my hotel. I'm like, nah, just me. And they're like, all right, you're good.
They were looking for me?
Yeah. It's like, where's Beau? I'm like, I don't know no Beau.
That's some like fucking, like when Biggie was killed in California, Mace was like, they sent a bunch of West Coast goons to my hotel. I had to sneak out the back door.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. Same thing, actually. I do like Toronto. I think I came to a realization. I might code switch when I go to Toronto for some reason.
Oh, you start speaking with the Canadian accent? I
think so. I'm not like dropping A's and stuff, but like, because a few people pointed out to me, like, oh, you don't sound like you're from New York, which I think I talked when I travel, like my podcast talk, where when I'm like not doing any of this, I tend to talk faster. If you could believe it, faster than I do now. And like, you can get my accent more. But when I'm like trying to record, or if I travel, I try to be more clear. So maybe that was it, but I wouldn't put it past me to try to blend into the Canadian culture a little.
Dude, I would love to send you to the St. Petersburg International Film Festival.
Where's
Come
that?
back speaking that Russian.
I do try, like when I go abroad, like Europe, I'm like...
Heard of it?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been or heard of it, or it's like right across the sea. It's like I try to, like, once I open my mouth, they probably know I'm American, but I want that to be a surprise. You know, like, no, maybe he's somewhere else.
Yeah, you just take one of the European accents or Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after Aaron recaps the movies that he watched at TIFF, some of his favorites, big surprises, and his least favorites, because that's how list making goes, we are going to talk about some of our favorite films in general of the year 2024. We did a similar thing last year where it's more towards the halfway point. We're getting closer to the end of the year with this episode, but it's always fun to see where we stand and then come back at the end of the year and complete our lists. And before we get into this episode, I want to let you guys know that you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts, all podcasting platforms, and follow us on social media at Nerd Soup, at Beau Soup, at Nerd Soup Monkey. And go give our Patreon page an old look-see. $2 a month gets you 3 podcasts. $5 a month gets you 5. We're doing some solo podcasts where it's just me, solo podcasts where it's just Aaron, group podcasts might feature Nash, Teddy, Marissa, who knows, Andres, Cam, could be anybody. And yeah, those are always fun, taking some questions, talking about life in general, philosophy, sports. Any topic really goes on the Patreon podcast. That's why it's so much fun. So, like I said, give it a look-see.
Yeah, you got to check out Politics Soup. You had some really interesting ideas.
Dude, I was actually going to do like a review of the debate where like the first part was just reviewing it impartially, just based on who won and lost, and then like critiquing it ideologically. So I thought that would be fun for the Patreon.
Or no, just review it like a movie. I'm tired of all these remakes, you know? It's so unimaginative nowadays. I guess we'll just talk about the festival. More fun to discuss.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about the festival.
Speaking of which, in Canada, I think we touched upon it. Oh, no, actually, that recording didn't save, but how much other people care about our politics. I was at a bar just like watching college football, and like this local guy just started talking to me and immediately went from like, oh, so who are you voting for? I'm like, I really don't want to do this now, man. I'm just trying to watch Texas so I can cover my spread. But he was very adamant. And this other guy who like I was sitting by who was watching the games too, like he was closer to him. And then after he left, he's like, it's like, I don't understand it. Like, why would he want to like debate politics at a bar when we're just watching football? I'm like, I don't know, man. Some people just like to talk. But that was one. And I had another experience with some Canadian locals. They said I looked like Ben Platt, and that made me very upset. It ruined my whole year, really.
Wow.
I don't think Ben Platt, like, that's just not the vibe I'm going for. You know?
Okay, yeah. I mean,
I think they did say the caveated with like a better looking Ben Platt, which
okay,
I can spin, but like I'm still not. I wasn't too thrilled about it. But I've gotten called like watered down versions or store versions of other better looking actors. So I was like debating in my head, what's better, to be a better looking version of a worse looking actor or a worse looking version of a better looking actor. And I think I've landed on like, yeah, I'd rather be great value brand.
Right. I'd rather be Diet LeBron than
Yes, then
Chauncey Billups with hops.
Billups is still a good player. It's like Diet LeBron or like supercharged Dylan Brooks. You know?
Supercharged Dylan Brooks actually kind of a problem. That boy defends.
Yeah, like the intangibles, but he's still not putting up fucking bucket.
No, he's still not. Yeah, he's not even close to old LeBron.
So yeah, that was fun. But other than that, like, it was great to be back in the city. Went to that Thai place again that we've talked about in the past. Basically, just nonstop. Like for me, I'm always very ambitious with these things where I plan my schedule. Like I'm gonna do 6 movies day one after waking up at 4 a.m. and not getting any sleep with the midnight premiere. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that was my plan.
Yeah.
But some people actually do that shit for like 5 days straight. And it's insane. I'm not built like that because I get really tired. But I was looking back at like on my Letterboxd list. That one year when we went the first year together, I think it might be because we got the online screeners, but we did like 20 something movies.
Yeah, I remember it was like 22 or 21 around there.
I had 22. And then this year, for reference, I had 13. But that's because we were just going back to the hotel and putting the online ones up.
Yeah, that was so clutch.
So 13 this year, which I think is still a solid amount for 4 days. But I don't know, do I start like with the big ones or the ones I didn't like too much?
Yeah, I say, you know what? Let's just go right for some of your favorites because that's what people want to hear about. And some of these movies have been garnering some buzz. They premiered at other festivals. Critics got to see them. But with TIFF really feels like we're getting the ball rolling here. Obviously, we had Venice, but TIFF is closer to us, so it's more important. So, yeah, I'd say start with the big boys.
Yeah, I'll do 3 tiers. Like one, yeah, I think you can
That's fun. I love tiers. I'm a big tier guy.
I think you can figure out what 3 tiers split up is. Good, really good,
yeah.
Okay, bad.
Good, immaculate. Oh my God.
So I've been like debating within myself what I liked more. Well, I know what I liked more, but what's the better film? And that's The Brutalist and Anora. I think going into it, and obviously since leaving, that those are consensus, probably the 2 standouts of award season. I mean, there are definitely others in that conversation, but within that grouping, these are the 2 that people are really talking about. I enjoyed Anora a lot more. Just that's like you've seen, Sean Baker movies. He kind of in that style where it is just just like a fun viewing experience, but it's also just a great movie. So I think he does a great job of blending that in this one. You've probably seen, but Mikey Madison is getting a ton of award buzz coming out of TIFF and Venice and all that, and she's fucking fantastic in this one.
Yeah, I've heard so many good things about her, dude.
Did you watch the trailer yet?
I've seen the trailer a few times in front of movies.
Okay.
Yeah, and it seems like your typical Sean Baker movie, people cursing each other out, trashy, lovable folks.
Yeah, well, that's the premise. It's a exotic dancer, sex worker who ends up dating this young, well, not like, she's not much older, but like she's like 24 and he's 21, Russian billionaire. So, and he's not like the sophisticated like billionaire. He's my parents gave me all their money and I'm just gonna fucking party and do whatever the fuck I want type billionaire.
He's an oligarch, baby.
Yeah, but he does a great job of really thrusting you along with the character of Anora, because I feel like most people would relate to her rather than this billionaire. It's like thrusting into this world where pretty much anything you can think or anything that you want, you can have. So
yeah, it's like a fantasy, it sounds like.
Right, yeah. And
like a real life fantasy.
It's very, very funny. Suspenseful. I think the story really, once it really starts going, it's pretty fast paced. And I think it's one of those movies at 2 hours and 12 movies that 2 hours and 12 minutes that fly by. And it's kind of just nonstop with its action and its humor and great dramatical moments as well. So it really is everything that you're looking for in a movie. And unlike, did Red Rocket get any major nominations?
I don't think it did.
So I think this is the one that's going to kind of break through, because that movie too, and I think he's somebody who's not your traditional writer and director, where he does touch upon things that maybe the Academy doesn't consider to be Oscar worthy in some aspects. But I think this one has enough appeal that it will get not only acting nominations, but a strong chance of maybe some writing as well. Potentially directing, depending on how strong it is. The category is come Oscar season, but I think there's a real shot he could get some writing nominations.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of buzz for lead actress as well.
I mean, she's good. It's always good to see like these young up and comers kind of get a role where, yeah, we know they're good, but now everybody knows, and we'll get some greater recognition.
Yeah, it feels like the same for director and actor because we've seen her in a few things. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That movie seems to have a few up and coming young stars that have gone on to do really good things. And then she was also in Scream. Sean Baker, as you mentioned, with Red Rocket, The Florida Project a few years back, making these movies about American outcasts. But then this movie being the one that maybe propels him as close as he's ever going to get to the mainstream. And I think maybe the buzz will continue to build because people really, really seem to be loving this movie. It's one of the highest rated that's coming out of these festivals. So maybe a few nominations are in his future for Best Picture, Best Director, more so than just writing. We will see. I'm excited to see that one. It's been one of my most anticipated for a few months now.
No, it's great too. And I saw it like on I think Saturday at 9 a.m., like after waiting online, being exhausted. So like in a different setting, sometimes I'm always like, maybe if I wasn't at a film festival where I had no sleep and viewed it in a different like mindset, I might have liked it a little more. Like that wasn't the case with this. Even though I was exhausted coming off of no sleep, waiting online for an hour, it still fucking sucked me in right away and kind of revitalized me a little. And kind of the opposite of that, but not in a negative way, is like The Brutalist, which is a 3.5 hour film.
Yeah.
With the 15-minute intermission. Thank God for that, because like I said, especially in this environment, like you need that because you start to get antsy after like 2.5 hours. So that was a much needed break in the action.
Where does it break?
Like right in the middle. They do a great fucking job at that. And then directed by Brady Corbett. I guess Corbet. I always hate the T endings with the.
He might be yeah. Well, I always got such a kick when Bill O'Reilly was like to Stephen Colbert, "You dropped the T, but you used to be little Stevie Colbert."
Yeah. Brady Corbett or whatever it may be.
Whatever. BC. Our old buddy BC.
And it's interesting. Have you even seen some of the comparisons?
I've heard people compare it to a great American novel.
Yeah, and there's been some Godfather as well.
Ooh.
I mean, obviously not in the sense of like plot-wise.
Big, epic, incredible lead performance.
Yeah, because it's not a mafia movie, but I can kind of make those connections as well. A quick synopsis: Adrian Brody is a like after World War II comes to America, and he is
an African prince.
Dude, when Eddie Murphy says he wants to go to Queens because he's trying to find a queen.
He was killing that jacket, man. Such a classic.
And yeah, basically just trying to find his way in this new world where he's separated from his family and kind of waiting to reconnect with them while also pursuing his own passions. And he was an architect back in Europe, so it's kind of has that aspect of you always say how you love these movies where it's a genius who just wants to complete their masterpiece,
right? And
they become so obsessed with it. But there's so many, because it does span such a large period of this man's life, that every I guess period they divulge into, there's different themes and different things that you can take away from that. So it really is a true vision of this one character over the course of his entire life. The people around him, the settings, it is, if you can see it in 70 millimeter, I recommend it because it is kind of such a great technical piece of work as well. And Adrian Brody gives probably the best performance of his career. And I mean, that's saying something, because a lot of people consider The Pianist to be one of the better performances of that entire decade, if not century.
Yeah, I heard Felicity Jones is very good too.
Oh yeah, she's very good as well. And Guy Pearce, he's probably one of my favorite. Like, obviously, I think Adrian Brody's performance is better, but the character he plays and what he brings to that character is such a strong performance as well. But it really is just such a amazing piece of art when you look at it that way. Like I said, like my favorite and was probably Anora just because of the entertainment value. This one definitely it's one of those you sit and kind of take in and then reflect upon after. And upon reflection, I think it is going to probably be one of the favorites going into a multitude of categories going into Oscar season. But it's also one of those movies that your friends and your family who aren't the biggest cinephiles who you recommend this movie to will probably tell you they didn't like it. It was boring.
Oh, yeah, dude. 3.5 hours. That's a killer for a lot of people who even like movies.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do that with general screenings as well, with the intermissions.
Oh, they have to. They definitely have to. Unless it's that goddamn theater we saw The Irishman at. I mean, The Irishman, they didn't want intermission, so. But I think that helps get people out to the theaters when they know that there's going to be a little break. I'm really excited for this one. I didn't like the movie he made with Natalie Portman, but it seems like he's continuing the motif of changing American society, because that movie spanned decades. And this movie, I'm pretty sure it does as well.
Yeah. And like I said, at different, like from, it's always tough with these. You don't want to get too much into the plot because it hasn't come out yet. But like from him immigrating to America to refining his passions to, making these new connections. Yeah. Like you said, just a full picture of one's life. And when those are done correctly, they can be very impactful.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. These two, Anora and The Brutalist, are the two movies I feel will crack my top 10. You never know for sure, but I'm pretty confident.
Well, those are the ones I gave 4.5. Upon repeat viewing, maybe I can push to 5 on one or both of them, but next tier were my 4 stars, and that's Conclave, The Substance, Presence, and The Life of Chuck. Just kidding, Presence is 3.5.
Lot of great things about Life of Chuck. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, I guess I'll talk about that one now. Mike Flanagan, a lot of people know him, especially from his Netflix projects. Midnight Mass, Fall of House Usher, Hill House, and Dr. Sleep as well. So this is another Stephen King adaptation. Stephen King was actually there, which was pretty neat. It was interesting going into this to see him kind of attack a different style because we're so used to his horror directing. Small elements splashed throughout this movie, but it's kind of a different style of picture that I just said picture. That's fancy. Different style of filmmaking than we've seen of him in the past.
Yeah, this is starring Tom Hiddleston, right? How's old TH in this one?
He's great. There's a couple of sequences that just really make you smile. And if you haven't read the novella, it's kind of it's an interesting story. It's sad at moments, but it's also about appreciation of certain things. And it's another film that kind of takes you through the life of Chuck. Takes you through the life of a character from their formative years to their adult years, like with The Brutalist, in very different ways, but tells a nice complete picture of life. And Tom Hiddleston, he does a great job fitting into this world, and kind of cool to see him. I mean, I've seen him in other things, but it's always fun to see actors break away from the roles, in this case Loki, that they're most known for, and into different, more unique projects. Shitty Tells You 4 is also in it. He's great. It's actually a pretty stacked cast. When they were announcing them after the premiere, it was just star after star. Mark Hamill, Karen Gillan, Jacob Tremblay.
Oh, wow.
And some fun little, if you're fans of Mike Flanagan, a couple of favorites pop up. So,
oh, I love the Flanagan universe.
Yeah. It's always cool when directors have their own that they take care of.
Yeah, that's why it was so fun with House of Usher. It felt like a nice celebration of all the actors he's been working with. All his heavy hitters were in that one.
Yeah, it's an interesting type of storytelling. He uses some unique devices to kind of tell this story. So I didn't read the novella, so I'm not too sure of how aligned that was of how Stephen King wrote it, but it was definitely an interesting way to tell a story, and it kind of all comes together at the end. So it was definitely one of the ones I enjoyed the most from the festival. And Conclave, that was a fun one too.
Yeah, this one's got the internet excited because of how silly it seems, but also the fact that it's apparently pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it's about the Pope dies, and it's called a conclave, which I learned a lot in this. I didn't really know how the papacy was passed down after a Pope dies, but apparently all the cardinals get together and they vote on a new Pope. And, you think, Catholic Church, cardinals, like, surely these people aren't selfish and power hungry. They want to do what's best for the church, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, but it's kind of that fun Succession type, bit of Game of Thrones politicking around to try to curry favor with certain groups to get enough votes to become the next pope. It has that perfect blend of ridiculousness, but the tone isn't ridiculous because it is a very serious situation for these actors, but ridiculous in a way of like these group of men in their positions, how they act and what they will do to get this position. And Ray Fiennes is fucking incredible. I was telling you the other day, like, we don't respect John Lithgow. No, we do, but not enough. And even if we do respect him very highly, I don't think that's still enough. Everything he's in, I just love him in.
Yeah, I remember That's Your Boy back. I forget what show it was where it solidified Lithgow as your boy.
Dexter.
Right, yeah, but I think you loved him in Dexter, but I remember when The Crown came out, you were like, it took you over the top.
Oh, his Churchill?
Yeah.
I like that. Fucking British people are going to play Superman and Batman. We'll send one of our own to play your fucking George Washington.
Oh, that Adolf Hitler, I tried to tell you.
Bad news, right? He is. No. Sir, we have important news coming out of Germany. Not until I had my breakfast beans.
Oh, God. Yeah, fine actors. Terrible breakfast.
Yeah.
No, that trailer just makes me laugh every time I see it because Ray Fiennes looks like the world is crumbling down every shot. He's so conflicted.
Yeah, and there's a lot of twists and turns, so it keeps you on your toes. And then we have The Substance, which is, when people are like, oh man, this movie was bonkers, it was crazy, you're not going to believe it. And then you see it and you're like, okay, I guess, but like, was it?
Right.
Like I've seen worse. The last 25 minutes of this movie was fucking absurd, but like in a good way. And this is the one I saw at midnight. So,
oh God,
I was up at 4 a.m. and around 2 a.m. is when all like the craziness started. So like I'm in like a weird headspace right now. Watching this shit go down. Like, I don't know what's going on, what's real. Like, I could fall asleep at any minute. I'm like delirious. And this shit happens. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on, man? I need to get out of here. But yeah, it is a very cool viewing experience, and one that I think a lot of people will be talking about once it comes out.
Yeah, I remember seeing some reviews for that come out of, I don't know what festival it was. It was one of the spring festivals, and it was getting 4.5s, 5s from a lot of people that I follow. And the premise, it's not a huge spoiler, but I feel like even if you want to avoid the premise, that could be fun for some people.
Yeah.
But just reading it does sound like a movie that's going to get a little nutty.
Yeah. And it's like, touches upon themes of like how you view yourself, especially as you get older, and nothing that quite remakes the wheel when it comes to that, but and how they expressed it and how they show it, I think is very unique. And it kind of just keeps building and building and building. And then, like I said, you get to that third act and you're just like, okay, this is something unique. At the very least, that will be a reaction. But it's good to see like an actor like Demi Moore, who I think is very, very good in this role. Margaret Qualley, another one that we've talked, like how we talked about Mikey Madison, maybe a little bit more further along in her career, but someone who's kind of had a nice steady rise into making better and better films and putting out better and better performances. Fun, yeah, both of them were in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's going to be a fun movie looking back on. Then you have Sydney Sweeney and Austin Butler, just like these absolute A-listers, probably not even if now, but if not now, like within the next 5 years. And they're all just these minor characters in
And then you also
Once
have
Upon a
Maya
Time in
Hawke
Hollywood. Yeah.
and the other chick from Hill House, the youngest sister. I can't remember the actress's name, but yeah, no, that movie's just full of young budding movie stars, and it's almost like perfect for that movie because it's about aging, washed
Right.
up
Yeah.
movie stars, starring two guys who have been around for decades and
I mean, I
dominating.
guarantee Tarantino will say that in like 5 years, but he
Oh
has no
yeah,
fucking idea.
yeah. He's like, no, I knew all these kids were going to be big stars. That's my Tarantino.
And Dennis Quaid has a great performance in this too.
Oh man, DQ.
Yeah, DQ, serving blizzards.
Is that a Coke thing?
What?
Is that a Coke thing?
No, it's a Dairy Queen thing. DQ.
Oh. Because that was one of the Deadpool jokes.
No, I don't stoop to that level. I make fast food chain jokes.
Clean comedy. We don't go blue. That's a lazy man's humor.
And Margot Qualley, there's some. Have you ever seen the Call on Me video?
I think I have.
Yeah, there's some moments like that where.
No, she's special, dude.
Yeah.
She's got. You could tell the look behind her eyes. There's something crazy to her.
What was the
Kinds of Kindness?
No, what was it?
The Maid?
Sanctuary?
No.
Yeah, I saw that last year at TIFF. She plays a dominatrix. Well, not 2 years ago.
Watch that.
With what's his name? Or whatever. But it's a good movie, and she has a great performance.
Christopher Abbott.
Yeah, should definitely check that out. I don't know if it's on anything or if it's one of those movies that just never came out, but great movie.
Yeah, I remember when you saw that and wanting to. I think it's on my watch list. Just never checked it out.
Oh, yeah, is that when I said I might be into some things that I wasn't before?
Yes, yeah. I mean, Margaret Qualley.
Yeah, I think that was just the Qualley talking. I was going off the Qualley. So those are my 4 stars. Then we go into the 3.5s, which I think is only okay. We got 3.5s.
Okay.
So maybe 4 tiers. I don't know. 4 tiers. Now you're crying. Presence, The Assessment, and We Live in Time.
No, We Live in Time is the Garfield Florence Pugh movie, right?
Yeah, with the horse that they cropped out of the Letterboxd poster.
Oh, there's got to be one. You could put it back.
Probably the craziest red carpet, like people lined up, because I think those were probably the 2 biggest stars besides Sydney Sweeney in terms of like young fandoms showing up. Elizabeth Olsen too. Also, she was in The Assessment. Sat literally 2 feet away from me during the premiere. That was pretty cool.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, I don't think this comes as a surprise, but their chemistry together is fucking incredible. Like, you saw the Harry Styles vehicle, right?
Yes. Yeah. Eternals?
No.
Don't worry, darling.
Yeah. Where Florence Pugh is like so charismatic, so great, and bouncing off Harry Styles, which is so flat. And like, you're like, okay, this movie isn't great, but if she had someone great to bounce off of that had chemistry, like, it would probably elevate that movie at least a 0.5 star.
Dude, now I'm thinking Garfield would have been perfect for that.
Right. But she finally, like in this one, she has a match where like 2 great talents, charismatic as hell, bouncing off each other, and this love story. It really is such a perfect combination. So it's, do you know anything about this movie? I just don't want to get into spoilers.
Yeah, I know I've heard that it's very pleasant throughout.
Okay. I'll be vague then.
That it's a loving couple kind of going through the trials and tribulations of life together. They're not like beefing and shit. It's not like Marriage Story or Batman v Superman,
But it's another movie that kind of, spans multiple, I guess, why can't I think of the word, but like different eras in time or different aspects of these two's lives within the confines of their relationship. And it's everything that comes with a budding relationship. You have the nervousness in the beginning, then the chemistry forms, and there's ups and downs, sadness and happiness. So I think it's definitely one that puts these two in such a great place to shine and put in some very, very strong performances.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this because Garfield, Pugh, great chemistry. I love sexy people.
Was there a trailer of this yet? No, right? Just the horse face.
Yeah,
thing?
I don't think there's a trailer yet.
That's always tough too to talk about because when you get a trailer, it's like you know how much you can talk about.
Right.
Because like, oh, they showed it in the trailer, then you can kind of maybe touch on certain aspects of that. But when there's no trailer, no nothing, you're like, well, how much did the people know?
Yeah, you're like, I can't talk about the Wesley Snipes cameo.
Yeah.
The trailer isn't out yet.
We live in time.
Oops.
He just shows up.
Oh, shit. That's my bad. We'll cut that out.
And speaking of great performances, The Assessment, Elizabeth Olsen, Alicia Vikander, Himesh Patel, all fucking great. But Alicia Vikander was incredible, and I think will be the standout of this movie.
Oh, good to hear that.
Yeah, especially, I mean, she has had good roles, but I feel like from what we saw in Ex Machina to like where we are now, especially with her getting like big movies like Tomb Raider, you just always thought that she might take off to a level that she really hasn't gotten yet. Not as a performer, but just for whatever reasons. And it was nice to see her in this movie really bring it. And like I said, I mean, Elizabeth Olsen and Himesh Patel are great as well, but I think she really steals the show. It's a interesting look at like an alternate future, or maybe, you know, a real future, depending on how well they nailed the prediction. It's one of those futuristic sci-fi movies, but that are kind of not overbearing and like the technology and stuff, where like it still seems and is recognizable of our world, but very unique in a lot of different ways as well.
Right, yeah, more grounded.
Yeah, it's like it's like the synopsis in here says a climate change ravaged world.
Okay.
So like they're in this new society now, and there's definitely more stricter rules. And one of the rules is you can't have a child unless someone comes and assesses your life to make sure you can have a child. And Alicia
like
Vikander,
that.
What?
Big fan of that.
Well, it's very interesting. And Alicia Vikander is the assessor. So she's just thrown into this married couple's life and has to observe them for 7 days. And it gets pretty fucking crazy.
So do you stand by your comments that LeBron couldn't play in the 90s? Scribbles on her notepad. Because, you know, it was a more physical game.
Yeah, Red Sox fans.
You going to pass that down to your kids, or you going to let him pick his own?
I see that Tom Brady signed jersey hanging up. Was that a gift, or like what's the deal with that?
That's the final decision you have to make: sell the jersey or no kids. That sounds fun.
Yeah, no, another one that I really enjoyed. And then Presents. Shout out Steven Soderbergh, his latest movie. This one I really liked. It was the first movie I saw there, and it's family moves into this house, and the synopsis on Letterboxd is, and they become convinced they're not alone.
Oh, sounds
there might be a presence
right up Soderbergh's alley.
But the way they frame it, the way it's filmed, the perspective is very unique, and kind of, this is one like I really don't want to touch upon too much, but kind of the way it is shown, it gives you an interesting perspective on this family and everything going on around it. And I think it does a good job of capturing a family unit and all the, especially with like two young children in their high school years, and kind of how they interact with their parents and their day-to-day life and stuff like that, all whilst being in this quote-unquote haunted environment.
That definitely sounds fun. Well, your next tier has a movie that everybody's been talking about for many months.
Which one's that?
I mean, come on. It's the big boy. Outside of The Brutalist and Anora, I would say this is the third most anticipated movie coming out of TIFF.
Nightbitch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it's been getting good reviews.
Yeah, but most of the good reviews are like not as bad as the trailer would lead you to believe.
Right, yeah.
Which, yes, that is the case. I think some people might have liked it even more than I did, but it isn't as bad as the trailers. And I think part of that is, you know, how they approach setting it up in the film and kind of the parallels they draw to, I mean, everyone knows this woman is a new mother and she convinces herself that she might be turning into a dog, which is very out there, not the typical metaphor that a lot of people will associate with motherhood, but they do a good job of kind of making it work within the confines of the film. And I think Amy Adams' terrific performance, and so is Scoot McNairy, who I think is kind of the theme today, is like underrated actors. And he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Shout
not
out
a
Scoot.
youngin', but yeah.
So it was an interesting take on a new family and a new mother, and kind of the differences with how a mother views or approaches a situation and a father does, and really dug into that family dynamic in a way that I don't think is really explored too often. So in that case, yeah, I think it was probably as good as it could be based on what we were given, and especially with the trailer. So definitely, yeah, not Nightbitch confirmed, not bad.
That's fun. Yeah, because we got a few questions from people asking us about Nightbitch. So, like I said, the Brutalist Anora on film Twitter, film blogs, getting a lot of buzz. But it seems like general audiences, Nightbitch has piqued their interest naturally.
Yeah, and it's funny, and it's not like, you see in the trailers how overwhelmed as a parent of a toddler, but it's not like they do a good job of it not being out of hatred or disdain or regret of having a child, but just accepting that, this is your life now. And for some people, that means sacrifice, and kind of dealing with all that, where you're happy, you love your child, but there's also confronting some of the drawbacks. And I think that's just a natural progression of many people feel, or it's kind of the unspokenness of it, right? It's like,
Right.
you don't hear someone who just has a baby and says, "Oh, it's fucking." They feel like they can't complain, because it's like, whoa, this is such a blessing. This is such a miracle. How are you going to complain? But it's tough. You have a dog.
Yeah. As someone who has been called the dog father.
Yeah.
Many people come to me and ask my advice. Oh, how did you get them to do this and that? So no, yeah, I've helped out many of people. Actually, that's not true. All I do is recommend my friends with kids movies to show their kids, and they just don't do it. I'm like, do you want to put your kid on a trajectory where they become a Supreme Court justice? Show them Kiki's Delivery Service. But I guess not everybody wants to decide the fate of America.
I love how an anime like that can be celebrated and revered, but if I was an Uber driver, people would fucking laugh at me.
No, we need to take that stigma
You don't
off.
respect. That's what I remember. Like, that's what I love about Europe, is they show respect for all types of trades and works, and realize that it's part of the mechanism that makes everything go around. Americans are so fucking nasty and judgmental.
Oh, yeah, it is true, dude. I mean,
Make
it's
a
like
movie
we love to, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And then if somebody does that, it's like, oh, weren't you a bartender?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, that's somehow it's always the hardest jobs, too, that people are shitting on.
You're like, or a bus driver. It's like, no. Although I do have beef with the public school bus transport, but it's because they fined me for allegedly not stopping in time.
Oh, my God. What is wrong with you?
Alleged.
The children cross the road.
It was on the other side of a partition of a highway, and I barely passed it in time. I'm fighting it. Fire Inside, directed by Rachel Morrison. Written by Barry Jenkins.
Oh, shit. That's cool. Rachel Morrison was Black Panther DP.
Yeah. So like a very great team.
Yeah. That's always fun when a cinematographer makes that transition. Doesn't always work.
Yeah. And I think this one works for the most part. I think it's your perfect 3-star type of feel-good movie, or inspiring movie, I guess. Because it is, I didn't know the story. If people know Clarissa Shields, she was a women's boxer from Flint, Michigan, who competed in the Olympics.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And this is before, women had gained respect in like I mean, there is an aspect of that too, like how the Olympics treated male athletes versus women athletes. But this was before women were really accepted as part of combat sports in a way that was profitable. So it's not like, and we have Amanda Nunes now, and with the whole Ronda Rousey, this was before that. So, your kind of typical sports story of somebody, and it's a true story. So it's hard to put the cliche tag on it, but you could still implement some of those in true stories. But, growing up, training, becoming this boxer, going to the Olympics, but also dealing with the family struggles and the environment of where she's from, and kind of trying to break out to make a better life for herself and her family. Yeah, like I said, it's just like a good 3-star sports movie that kind of takes you through all the beats. I wish some of the family stuff was stronger. There's parts of it that kind of feel not thrown in because, like I said, it's a true story, but it's not fully developed, or maybe doesn't serve the plot as much as it could have. But yeah, the boxing sequences are very well done. And it's so weird how boxing has like died off as a popular sport in America, but it's still like the go-to when it comes to sports movies.
Yeah, it's just easy to it's probably the easiest to film and make epic.
Right. And it's always has that underdog aspect of it. And
Right,
it's one of those sports where you can kind of grind your way and grit your way to success.
Yeah, it's not like baseball. You can't like grit your way to a baseball win. I mean, there's an aspect of that, but like Buster Douglas, if you just have the will.
They're not going to make a movie about this scrappy utility infielder.
Yeah, right.
Pinch runs.
Here's my shot. I could steal the base.
But, like Rocky can win a fight against Apollo Creed,
And Drago. Don't forget
or
that.
lose, then win. People forget he lost in Rocky 1. Adrian.
I did it. You lost, Rock.
Yeah. And Ryan Destiny plays the lead role. Not in much, but a great opportunity to be the lead of a movie like this. It's definitely, I think it's Amazon. So it's like a great Amazon movie. And a lot of eyes will probably be on it, which is a good thing because it's not your typical streaming service slop.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Brian Tyree Henry's in it.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah. And he's fantastic as always. So
can't wait for Transformers.
I hear that's fucking pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's getting great reviews.
And then my other 3-star, Universal Language. Very interesting movie.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing this at New York. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's if you don't get the humor or you're not like bought into it kind of right away or kind of accept some of the things, like it's probably not going to vibe for you. But if all those things work, I think there is a great chance of you enjoying this movie. I have it at 3 because I'm kind of mixed in that regard, but I can see it like totally working for a lot of people or just falling flat. It's, very quirky at times. It has its own uniqueness, which I can definitely respect. So yeah, I'm interested to see how you feel about it coming out, but I'm not sure if this is one that will be, I don't know where it goes from here. If it's going to be released, if it's going to be one of those, I'm not sure it's going to get an international feature nomination or anything like that. You see a lot of these movies, especially in festivals, that are pretty good or actually really good in some cases that you just don't ever hear about again because they don't have the backing of being a selection of a country for international feature, or they're not promoted by any streaming service they're on, if they're even on a streaming service in America. So, and that makes me sad. But yeah, 3 stars. Sorry. And then my lowest tier. A lot of people like this movie. Some don't. Very mixed reviews. The Last Showgirl, Gia Coppola, starring Pamela Anderson. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. What
about Nutcrackers?
Can I finish here?
Okay, because I thought Nutcrackers was a 2.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is.
You skipped over the Nutters. That's David Gordon Green, right? Man, that guy just can't do anything good outside of television.
Look, so Nutcrackers is the perfect movie that like your parents or grandparents will watch, and at the end, like, oh, that was cute. Very cliche written, super predictable.
Yeah.
Enjoyable in that sense. There are some funny moments, and I think it's hard not to enjoy some of the moments where the kids are being cute and Ben Stiller's like, you're like, they're starting to warm up to each other. And that's a formula that we've seen a million times, but I think it still hits. If I can re-review this, I probably would drop it down to a 2.
I love how you're like, it's cliche, but sometimes, that just hits. If I could watch it again, I'd probably drop the score.
2 isn't like fucking god awful.
No, but it threw me off because it sounded like you were going to say you'd bump it up.
Oh, yeah.
Like some elements you're familiar with, but they can work. And if I watch this again, probably kill myself.
Because now thinking about it, like I'll talk about The Last Showgirl. I don't think it's better than The Last Showgirl. I don't think it's worse either. So I'd probably put it back to it too. But it's got a couple laughs in it, a couple like actually pretty funny moments. So maybe I'll keep it at a 2.5. It's hard with these comedies, but I think 2.5, like my rationale 2.5. It's like the most movie that a movie could be, especially come holiday time.
Right.
And I think there's a place for those type of films. Yeah, Tim Heidecker's in it, so I like that.
And Ben Stiller, right? He's the lead.
Yeah, Ben Stiller, man. Be still.
And Linda Cardellini. Okay.
Yeah.
You know me, I gotta catch the new Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, I might go to a 3 actually.
Yeah, no, seriously. I'm not even joking. All right, now you could finish up on The Last Showgirl.
Okay, yeah. New Gia Coppola movie starring Pamela Anderson. A lot of people are saying like what a comeback for Pamela Anderson, like out of the spotlight for a decent amount of time. I saw on Reddit people were like, "Oh, could this be like The Whale?" I mean, the difference is, and I hate to say it, but like Brendan Fraser isn't actually like a good actor, and Pamela Anderson isn't.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
She's like not as bad, but like there are some moments, especially in the emotional beats, which the film largely relies on, that just fall flat on its face with her performance. It's an interesting concept, an aging showgirl in Las Vegas coming to grips with her age, and very similar. Like it actually is a perfect role for Pamela Anderson, who was such a big star and kind of fell off the mainstream. I think it's a story that could have been directed and told better than it was in this case. I feel like there are moments that are pretty obvious that you could tell Gia Coppola was thinking that like this is going to be the moment, and it just doesn't work. Like, you know, when you see a director is trying, and I will never like blame a director for trying or thinking they can make the most out of a shot or sequence, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can tell when it's like when I always say like that one 2 Chainz verse, like you could tell he thought he was cooking on that one.
Yeah. Well, you're not talking about Mercy, are you?
No. Is it?
Okay. Because Mercy does have the best verse.
No, it's not Mercy. No.
Okay. I'm just
Mercy
sure.
was cooking.
Yeah, no, he was cooking on Mercy.
I forget the name of the song, but
cut your girl, not your girl, need a band-aid.
That shit's fire.
Ouch.
But yeah, I think there definitely is a good movie there, and I've talked to people who actually really enjoyed it, so maybe it just didn't work for me. But
no, I definitely saw those reactions where people were like, wow, Pamela Anderson, who knew?
Yeah, and I hope so. I mean, I hope I'm in the minority when it comes to that, because it would be cool for her to have this moment, you know?
Yeah.
Where we saw it with Brendan Fraser, and it was so good to see, and for her to have that would be great. And I think she will, because I think this movie, my mom asked me about this movie. That's the only one she like even remotely cared about.
Oh, wow.
Because so I guess there is definitely a audience that is waiting to see Pamela Anderson's return. So hopefully it does well at the box office and people take away something from it. But for me, it just didn't land the way that it should have. 85-minute movie too, so it's not like it's a slog to get through by any means. But Dave Bautista's potential last role before he lost all of his muscle, which is good.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that talk has been funny because he's still very muscular.
Yeah, it was just so funny to people to be like, "What? Why isn't he still fucking jacked as a 50-year-old man?" It's like, well, because that's aging, and it's not healthy to maintain that type of body style, that lifestyle.
Yeah, and there was also one picture. It was the angle that made him look way skinnier than he actually is.
Oh, I got skinny angles. I know all of them.
Yeah, the skinny angles. He had a black suit on because he was on a talk show the next day, and I was like, no, he's still pretty jacked.
Yeah, no.
He'd still fucking lift me by my head.
Well, see Brenda's songs in it, so any Disney Channel fans.
Oh, man.
Or Social Network fans.
Yeah, there you go.
She's sneaky been in a lot of movies since Disney Channel.
She's still fine.
Billy Lord, Jamie Lee Curtis, so good cast. Which was just the better movie.
A lot of famous people in this movie, I do have to say.
I like the bad reviews on Letterboxd with like good writings. Like it's a 2.5 stars. As Pamela Anderson is a fucking star.
I'm always confused by like the 3.5, and they're like, this was a huge disappointment.
Or you see 3.5 and it's like a massive piece of epic proportions. And it's like, whoa, what are your 5 stars?
4 stars. All right, that does it for Aaron's TIFF list. What would you say? Where would you rank this amongst your previous Toronto International Film Festival movie watching endeavors?
I think the first year will always be my favorite. I mean,
That first year was crazy.
I was looking at it the other day, and the fact that we missed Belfast and Stewart. No, wait, is it Kristen Stewart? Was it? Yeah.
No, was that Spencer year? Yeah, it may have been Spencer year. Yeah.
Kristen Stewart and Spencer. Yeah. But looking at like Drive My Car, Flea, Dune, Titan, Last Night in Soho, Power of the Dog, which I didn't even like that much, but still.
Yeah, even movies. Some of the movies that didn't really blow up, like The Humans and Seven Prisoners.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2022 was a great year too. That Fabelmans, The Whale, Glass Onion, Woman King.
Yeah, I skipped a year.
Yeah, you go every other year. You were there last year. Last year, looking back too, Zone of Interest. I missed Anatomy of a Fall, but Boy in a Heron, Holdovers, Dumb Money, American Fiction.
Yeah, not bad.
You're always going to get good movies. Like, even if you don't know it yet, like even when the announcements came out, and even again this year, Queer, Megapolis, Saturday Night were all positioned to be in the second week, which I don't understand why, but 3 other big titles to pack onto that already stacked list. And
I mean, 2021 having Drive My Car, Memoria, Titan, Flea, and Dune being my top 5 is pretty crazy.
No, and even the ones, quote unquote, bad ones are still pretty good. You know, they have to go through a vetting process to even make the festival. So there's always something to them, even if they don't necessarily work for you. There's always, it's not like your typical just slop movie, you know? Dune was crazy. But it's like, even when you have high expectations, like, oh, maybe we'll get the Joker or Nosferatu or Gladiator, and like those initial ones don't come up, and you're kind of like, ah, well, you know, I was maybe hoping for like bigger names and bigger movies and more anticipated ones. By the time it comes around and you actually see them, you're like, oh no, these are the movies that are actually going to be there at the end of the year that people are going to be talking about in the same way as all the other movies you were anticipating. So
right. All right, I'm thinking now we can move on, give our top 10 lists for the year so far, and then it will be fun to come back and check and see how they change. Because last year, I remember Past Lives, when we did the part 1, was in my top 5, and it fell out of my top 20 by the time we wrapped up our best movies of the year. And I think that's normally what we do. We do top 20, but for now, we'll do top 10. And then, as I said, we'll come back and see how those lists change. But before we get into any of those movies at the top, I just want to shout out this year in horror. It's been quite the year. A few in my top 10, but a lot out of my top 10 that I really enjoyed. Movies like Abigail, The First Omen, Late Night with the Devil had some AI controversy, but still very enjoyable. David Dastmalchian as a late night B-list host. Fantastic performance. Maxine, Immaculate, Long Legs. Long Legs was actually one of those movies that people were like, oh my God, this was the scariest movie ever. And then it was just like an episode of True Detective. It was creepy. It was scary. It was good, but not the scariest movie ever. Oddity. That was actually really fucking scary. And even a movie like Alien Romulus, which could, it is horror.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, it's just been a Trap, M. Night Shyamalan's Trap, which typical Shyamalan, very divisive, but I enjoyed it. Not quite in my top 10. Inside Out 2, for some people, would be also considered horror.
What is Letterboxd when it says films and diary? Like diary is X amount this year, and it says films, but it's less this year. Or it says diary and films when you click.
One of them doesn't. If you have more of one of them, then those are rewatches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, yeah. Shout out horror. It's got to be one of my favorite genres.
And I'll speed run through my top 10 here. Number 10, I have La Chimera, which I recently watched, starring Josh O'Connor. If you thought Josh O'Connor was hot in Challengers, I would argue he's even hotter in this movie. He's doing his best French New Wave leading actor impersonation, chewing on a cigarette the entire movie, wearing a size too big, dusty white suit, as charismatic as ever. So as I said, I think his performance here competes with how sexy he was in Challengers. Number 9, another movie that is at times sexy and at other times very terrifying, an erotic thriller, if you will. That would be Femme. Two of my favorite performances of the year from the lead actors, Nathan Stewart Jarrett and George McKay. As I said, an erotic thriller with the two of them caught in a dance that will definitely leave you feeling excited. Number 8, Hitman, another movie starring 2 actors who are very hot and sexy and have great chemistry in their roles. That's, another movie by my boy Glenn Powell. He's having himself a good couple of years, and I think we talked about that on one of the podcasts, but I really enjoyed it. Richard Linklater is obviously one of the best American directors that we have, and Glenn Powell, Adria Arjona, you just can't beat them. Number 7, animated movie, Chicken for Linda. Very sweet movie, beautiful animation, great use of colors to set a mood. It's a simple story about a mom who wants to cook her daughter the chicken that her husband used to make for them when their daughter was first born. So, as I said, very sweet, beautiful animation. Number 6, Challengers. I feel like a lot of people who are listening to this podcast have probably seen this movie, but it's now streaming for free on Amazon and Max and a few places. So yeah, go and check it out. Guadagnino, guy just doesn't miss. Great chemistry from the 3 leads. Zendaya with feels like her first grown-up role. I know Malcolm and Marie was a mature movie, but it just wasn't as good, so I'm not going to count it. Number 5, Strange Darling. I think this is a great movie that I will use as an example going forward as to why you cannot compare TV and film, because this is just not an experience you can have on TV. I'm confident in saying it has the best performance of the year with Willa Fitzgerald. She's amazing. And also Kyle Gallner is like the American Paul Mescal. It's actually kind of hilarious. Both of them were incredible. Number 4, The Beast. This is a movie that technically came out in 2023, but for North America, it released in 2024. This is a movie that I have to rewatch because it might be a masterpiece. It truly might be one of the best movies of all time, but I struggled with it in terms of understanding what the movie was actually about. But I know for a fact it was epic. And Lea Seydoux, she's becoming one of my favorites of all time. She's just, you watch her, you look at her, and it feels like you're 50 years in the future looking back on someone who's considered one of the greatest stars of the 21st century. Number 3, I saw The TV Glow. This was a fun movie because the previous movie directed by Jane Schoenbrunn, We're All Going to the World's Fair. Not a great movie, but you could tell that they have talent, that they have a voice, and that when they figure that out, they're going to drop something special. And it happened to be in their very next film with I Saw the TV Glow. Not quite a horror movie, but it does have scary moments, very influenced by Twin Peaks, 90s Nickelodeon shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark? A great movie that I would highly recommend. And that's also streaming on a couple of places. I think you can rent it. Number 2, Dune. Oh, yeah. I've watched Dune 12 times. But yeah, no, number 1, Furiosa. I mean, I watched this movie with a big fat smile on my face the entire time. Fury Road, one of the best action movies of all time, arguably the greatest. This isn't quite as good as Fury Road, but just because it even competes with Fury Road, it might be the greatest prequel of all time. And I think what's so fun about these movies is that the actors cannot hide how rigorous and tiring these shoots are. So in both instances, he got the perfect actors for those roles. Tom Hardy couldn't hide how miserable he was, and that worked for his performance. Charlize Theron was able to keep it together, and she just exudes power. Anya Taylor-Joy, the eyes speak for themselves. She has the look of a fallen angel. But Chris Hemsworth, giving one of my favorite performances of the year, I think it's right up there with some of the best. He doesn't betray any fatigue whatsoever as this character. He is on 100 the entire time. And that is so impressive because even a guy as in shape as he is, it's going to take a toll on you shooting this movie over the course of several months in the desert with such a rigorous schedule and a rigorous shoot. And that to me is why sometimes acting can only be how do you deliver your lines. It's about your presence. It's about how you carry yourself. And that physical fitness, that athleticism that he has makes that character come to life in ways that are terrifying, powerful, funny. That's the other thing about this movie. It's one of the funniest movies of the year. It's got so many great one-liners and use of that sort of pigeoned language that he's creating with all these different terms and the way that they say things. It's just hysterical, dude. And the action, George Miller, fucking madman. So yeah, that's my top 10 as it stands right now. As I said, it's definitely going to change. And, some honorable mentions, Blink Twice, Zoe Kravitz, first time director. I really enjoyed that. And Rebel Ridge just came out on Netflix. Another incredible star-making lead performance by Aaron Peer. He plays the rapper in Old. He's so fucking good in this movie, and he's like playing a good guy, and I was scared of him. That's how fucking awesome he was. And James Gunn cast him as Batman. What are you waiting for?
Well, solid list. Now it's like I have my groupings. I don't know which way to put them.
Right, yeah.
I think I'll go 10. I feel like 10 right now is a good place for Alien Romulus. The more I think about it, I do enjoy it as just like we talked about it on a review, but I think it has everything you really look for in a horror movie. And I understand some of the complaints of it being a bit derivative, and some of those moments and callbacks were a little forced, but in a vacuum, all of the horror elements, the performances, the situations, and watching it all play out, I thought it was very enjoyable. And one of the more, I think, as a form of entertainment, one of the more entertaining movies I've seen this year. 9, let's see what goes next. Yeah, I'm not really going to talk about, because I already talked about them, but Life of Chuck, Conclave, Substance will probably be a 9, 8, 7. And then, or no, maybe I'll put Conclave over the Substance, but also over Civil War. So
Okay.
let me clean that up. 10 Alien, 9 Life of Chuck, 6 Substance, 7 Civil War, 5 Conclave. Civil War was I guess it's still divisive, but I really enjoyed it. I've always been a huge fan of Alex Garland. 2 Kaylee Spaney movies in the top 10. Shout out to her. I mean, not take away. I mean, if you have this opinion, then it's super valid. But for me, the lack of political... Well, I didn't find it to be that... I'm trying to think. How did you describe it? Like, just, it didn't have anything to say, I guess.
Yeah, my biggest issue is that it was just exploiting a lot of what people were bringing into it.
Right. Yeah. And I get that, but for me, like, wasn't really too big of an issue for me. And I still hold like that final sequence when they're in DC, such, I think, one of the better put together suspenseful action sequences of the year so far. Like,
yeah, that shit was crazy.
You know the meme when you lock in, you're leaning forward?
Yeah.
It was that on fucking steroids.
No, they did level up with that third act.
The Jesse Plemons sequence, the horror elements he brought into those moments when it's just people, you don't need them. Sometimes you don't need a monster to create some of the more visceral horror and suspense. And Jesse Plemons is just... I wish Kinds of Kindness was a little better. I still enjoyed it, but if he had like a year where he had like 2 bangers, that would have been good for him and good for me and good for America, really.
A lot of people call Kinds of Kindness Jesse Plemons' masterclass.
He was very good in it, especially in the last anthology.
I think he's a good actor, but I don't understand, outside of them maybe resembling each other, the comparisons to Philip Seymour Hoffman. Because Philip Seymour Hoffman had so much more sauce with his performances.
Well, people also compare him to Matt Damon, like physically. I don't really see that.
Yeah,
but he's still fairly young,
Definitely, but I mean, come on, Along Came Polly, Philip Seymour Hoffman, bro, or fucking Talented Mr. Ripley.
Just saying, Philip Seymour could do Todd from Breaking Bad, but Jesse Plemons couldn't do Along Came Polly.
Yeah.
Or the bad guy in Mission Impossible 3.
I was going to say Philip Seymour Hoffman could have done like Mike. Jesse Plemons can't do Hunger Games. But like, even in Hunger Games, where he doesn't have much to do, rest in peace to Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's just so cool and everything.
Yeah, he really is. All right, so what are we at? 4? I'll do Challengers.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, that's another, like, it's so cool, like, when you see these movies like that we make memes of, and even before it even came out, like, it became super popular online, and for it to be as good as that, like, respectful, like, having a good movie being like respected and probably seen by so many other people just because of how popular it was on the internet. It's like when that happens for like a bad movie, you're kind of upset because like there's so many other movies that deserve this attention and fandom and excitement around it. So I'm happy that it was able to happen for Challengers. I don't know. This score, I think, is probably my favorite of the year.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love the music in this movie. Oh, I listen to it all the time. Like it really is just such a vibe. And seeing how the way the film plays out, obviously with the relationship and how it all began to where they are now, and just the dynamic of this triangle. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend to watch it, preferably on a plane too, so everyone can see some of those moments and share them with you.
Yeah, that was one of the questions. Which movie would you least want to get caught watching on a plane?
The tennis, that's my favorite part. Like Luke, like we talk about him all the time. Tremendous filmmaker. I wasn't able to see Queer, which I hear is kind of getting mixed reviews, but if anything, there's going to be something from a artistic standpoint that like I think people will enjoy. That's just my prediction based off of him as a director. But the way he kind of laid out the story in a way that reflected, like the way he chose to choose to tell the story in the particular timeline he does, reflecting the tennis match taking place. I thought that was such a fun aspect and really made the movie that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, I heard with Queer they like force him to cut out all the good stuff.
That's always a shame.
It's one of the classic cases of like, oh, I want for like an hour of the movie just no dialogue, Daniel Craig wandering Mexico City, going into gay bars. The producer was like, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
I don't think dialogue should be spoken within the first 5 minutes of a movie.
Okay, I see
Set up
you.
this world.
Wall-E believer.
When I really started getting into movies, like every time that would happen, I'd be like, oh, this is going to be a good one.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't say a goddamn word yet. There's been no dialogue. They must be cooking something up.
People forget it's a visual medium.
All right. So challengers at 4, 3. I'll probably go Furio. Oh, no. Did I mess this up? Well, I'll still.
Yeah, you did. You did mess it up because you're going to have to kick somebody out.
Yeah. So whatever.
Everybody's getting pushed back one.
Probably. Or I just counted wrong. But Furiosa, for all the reasons you said, such a magnificent piece of action. I think Fury Road's an action masterpiece. This one's a little bit under it, in my opinion, but everything is still there. And I think, like you said, the performances, the cinematography, the action sequences, the sound design, everything works in these movies to such a high level. And we really need to start. And a lot of people have, but we got to view these movies, especially Furiosa, because I feel like that's kind of gotten left under the radar. Like, has to be appreciated as just a piece of magnificent work, not only in the action genre, but in just any genre. I mean, some of the sequences in the desert and the colors with the red popping, it really is just such a great movie to look at. And you can hear every mechanical aspect of it, every bolt moving, every tire tiring. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Shredding.
Yeah, every tread, every clink, every clack.
Yeah, no, the technical stuff for those movies. The one year when the Oscars did the sound design category and everything else was silence except those the sounds of the machines for Fury Road, I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, then I go 3, The Brutalist, 2, Anora, which subject to change, and then number 1, The Big Daddy.
I can't believe you're about to put this number 1, dude. I love Glenn Powell, but number 1?
Twisters?
Come on. That's bold.
No, obviously it's Deadpool Wolverine.
Fucking
Wolverine says fuck. And they talk about cocaine.
Yeah, that is true.
Anal sex. No, Dune. It feels like so long ago.
It does. Yeah, it does.
And Denis was there at TIFF and he screened both of them back to back. And I wanted to do that so fucking bad. But it's hard to justify giving up 7 hours of your day to watch something that you can just do at home at HBO Max. Obviously, a different experience with him there, and it's really, really fucking cool if it was just on like a random Tuesday. But it's still Dune 2. And a rare case of a movie being so commercially popular and so critically acclaimed. We're not at the point where people are starting to hate on it, so that's good because I felt like that could be coming, and it still can be coming, especially for a lot of critics that. Once they start seeing, it was fun to put Dune 2 number 1 and say it can win Best Director and Best Picture and all these accolades. But like, I feel like for some people, once that starts getting put up against a film like The Brutalist, that's when they'll be like, okay, we had our fun with Dune 2, but move aside, which I don't think is the case.
I think Dune 2 will still be around for Best Picture. I wouldn't count it out just yet. I wonder if Villeneuve now isn't going to get a Best Director, but still, I still feel confident.
I'll get nominated for sure, but I think maybe we've seen in year past movies having the staying power. Obviously, March is different than Oppenheimer, July, but Get Out is one everyone points to when they talk about longevity. That came out in February, and it is that type of movie where I think it does have some staying power. But
yeah, and so much can change too. Even if the Brutalist looks like it could be the early favorite here, other movies coming out, feelings change, momentum changes.
you
We've
always
seen
see
it
like
before.
when it comes to casual film goers, which I feel like it sounds like negative coming off, but like I love casual film goers.
Yeah.
I don't talk down or think I'm like, it's just what it is. Like some people just don't see as many movies as people.
People with lives.
Yeah. And families.
Yeah,
and
and
kids.
families and jobs and responsibilities.
And probably, yeah. When it gets to award season, there's always that one movie that's more popular than the others. I'm not using this as an example, but like a movie like Barbie.
Right.
And I don't want to use Oppenheimer as an example because that was extremely popular. Let's just say Oppenheimer wasn't there and Zone of Interest won Best Picture. A lot of people will be like, what? How can that happen? Barbie didn't win Best Picture over this movie that like in a different language that no one's seen, blah, 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 blah. And, people who have seen that and people who have seen a lot of movies are like, Barbie is great, but listen, like, this was the right choice, yada, yada, yada. I think that will be the same case for something like when Dune goes up against the Brutalist and the Brutalist wins. People are going to be up in arms because not a lot of people saw the Brutalist. It's one of those things where I think Dune is such a high quality that it wouldn't be the case. Like Dune deserves to be like right up there at the end of it. It's not a case where a popular movie loses and it's justified. It's a case where, the case where like the popular movie is deserving as well of winning and being a commercial success. I don't know if I explained that the way I thought I did in my head, but to me it made sense coming out. I don't know if it made sense as I spoke the words, but
no, I think it made enough sense. I think people are following you. I think people are picking up what you're putting down.
I have concepts of plans before I speak. Sometimes they don't always come together. I just end up blabbing, but in my head it's there.
Somebody said he said that in the same inflection as Homer Simpson. I have concepts of plans.
I the way he said some of the things were so funny. I just kept replaying them.
All right, we'll take a few questions and then we'll wrap it up because we have been going for a long time. But then, then we'll answer.
Deserve a long one.
Yeah, no, they do. You guys have earned this one. This question here from SK: worst movie you guys watched this year, or just the worst movie ever? We never do worst movies of the year. I don't like when critics do it, but I guess, for the sake of just answering this question, the lowest rated movie I have this year is Madam Web, which was...
I didn't even fucking see that one, man.
Not one of those so bad that it's good. It was just, it was very bad, very dull. I would say Rebel Moon is my third worst movie of the year. That more qualifies for you can have fun with how stupid it is, but both of them are just barely movies.
Yeah, I feel like the worst movies of the year isn't fair, especially like even someone who like does watch more movies than your regular person. I still don't watch nearly as enough movies. Like I was saying, some of these people at the festivals that do 6 a day for like a week straight, or they seek out anything good, bad, or indifferent. Like I'm not somebody who seeks out terrible movies unless it's something that I wanted to see or is so bad that it's good or anything. Like if I hear a movie's like a 1-star piece of shit, I'm probably not going to go see it.
Right.
So there is definitely a selection bias when it comes to that. So if I make a top 10 terrible movies of the year list, like they're probably just by what I choose to watch, probably end up not being a true top 10 worst movies of the year.
Yeah, I started to seek out more bad movies just for my Letterboxd curve, honestly. So one day I was looking at it and I was like, man, I don't have any 2s. I don't have any 2.5.
I noticed that too on mine. But it's
so
also like
some bad movies for this bitch.
But the shit I rewatch are typically my favorite movies.
Right.
And even the ones that I haven't logged because I didn't have Letterboxd at the time. So like if a movie, like some of my favorite movies that I haven't watched in like 2 or 3 years and I'm starting to rewatch again, they're all getting 5s, 4.5s.
Right.
And that. So it's like, it's always going to skew higher.
This question here from Adelaide. Shout out to Adelaide, friend of the channel. Great writer on Letterboxd. Go and check out her reviews. What 2024 film do you rate higher than the general consensus, and which one do you rate lower? So I have two good answers for this, or at least I feel that way. It seems like, and I actually have them side by side near the bottom of my list. That would be Deadpool and Wolverine, and also Fall Guy. Fall Guy I was really excited for. I like the idea of Ryan Gosling taking on more comedies because he wants to star in movies that his children could watch. And the 2010s, he dominated with dramatic roles. So I was really excited for this because he has those comedic chops. We've seen him in comedic movies before, and he's got that goofy charm, and he's still as handsome as ever. Emily Blunt also has a lot of comedic chops, and she's a terrific actress. David Leitch has done some things that I've liked, has done some other things that not so much. So I was really anticipating this. I thought it was boring as fuck. That was the most disappointing part about it, is it wasn't even fun. And then Deadpool Wolverine, we did a whole review on it.
I didn't dislike Fall Guy as much as you did. It is weird because like a movie like Kong Godzilla, I couldn't have fun with. But a movie like Roadhouse, I kind of could have a little bit of fun.
I loved Roadhouse. I don't have it ranked very high. I think I gave it like 2 stars.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just fun. That's so bad it's good.
Right. And I think it knew what it was going to be, whereas Kong and Godzilla tried to be something more.
Well, I mean, that Kong jumps on Godzilla and holds one of his horns.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Okay. And then Kong uses Baby Kong as a weapon.
Is that a baby Kong?
All right, no, you don't like Baby Kong. You don't like using Godzilla as support.
Oh, the lore dump was fucking brutal.
The lore dump was fucking
Roadhouse, you don't
psychotic.
need lore. Just Jake Gyllenhaal's chiseled abs and fucking crazy-ass Conor McGregor fighting.
Dude, it was like they were afraid to tell Conor McGregor to do a second take because there's bad acting, but then that was just like he wasn't even being himself type of acting. He was acting as he thought someone should be acting, and it just came out of no. It
made it good.
Yes, no, it definitely adds to the movie. It was fascinating to watch whatever he was doing.
What's his name? Knox?
Is that his name?
I think so. Once Knox is on the job, it's over, baby.
See, I wouldn't have even given him a script. I'm like, this is the scenario. Just say whatever, dude.
No, yeah, this movie actually rules.
I kind of want to rewatch it.
I was building it. I was watching it while I was building furniture, like an IKEA furniture, and like multiple times I stopped. And I was just like, stopped doing what I was doing.
I put my hands on my hip here and check this out.
Starting to cook. Stood up a couple times.
Yeah, and I guess a movie that I liked more than people seem to be enjoying, not so much more, but The Killer, John Woo's remake of his own movie, starring Missandei from Game of Thrones and Omar Sy. I thought it was actually very enjoyable. I mean, John Woo, he's still got the eye for action. It's not as good as the original. The original, The Killer, is arguably his best movie, but I thought it was really fun and on Peacock.
What was behind that, remaking your own movie?
I think he's just a madman. I think it was an opportunity to make some money. And it's also a premise that is ripe for a remake. And I don't mind it when directors do that, because it's almost like when like you have an iconic painting and then you learn, oh, this, he painted it 15 other times as well, and there are different copies out there, or else they're just lying because they've been forged. I don't hate that. It's like, let me explore this premise, let me bring it to the modern day. Obviously the original takes place in Hong Kong, this takes place in Paris, so you have the British lead and the French supporting. And Omar Sy is so good. I haven't seen Lupin, but I loved him in this. Let's look for some other questions here. Oh, this one from Hesty. Oddity will be top 5 horror movies of the decade. Do you agree? I don't agree, but Oddity was fucking spooky. That was a spooky ass movie. I think I rented it. I don't think it's streaming for free, but I would definitely recommend checking that one out.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, good year for horror. This is number 18 on my list, right behind Long Legs. So 2 horror movies that people really enjoyed. Because I've seen on social medias people talking about Oddity, complaining that enough people aren't talking about it.
Are you gonna go see Beetlejuice?
Yeah, I saw it. I went with my mom, actually.
Yeah, my mom wants to see it too.
Yeah, it was cute. The original Beetlejuice is one of my all-time favorites, but I thought it was cute. Just Michael Keaton in that first one.
They're getting risky with this title here. I'm only one away. If I slip up or say the name twice too fast in a row, Jesus.
Dude, it was so funny watching it because when they get to the second Beetlejuice, you could hear it in the crowd. Everybody like, oh, don't you do it. That was a funny joke in Ted, too.
Still got it.
Keaton was good, but it's one of those where it's like Jordan on the Wizards. Incredible footwork, smooth form, but he can't jump, can't really move like he used to. Because I did the double feature, and he's electric in that first movie. He's just out of control off the bat. He's so just so alive and in your face. Is one of my favorite performances ever. He's good. I think Winona Ryder ended up being maybe the best part. Just coming back and playing Lydia Dietz once again. Obviously she became one of the biggest stars in the world in the late 80s when she starred in the original one and with the other movies that she was in with Burton.
So crazy how she got canceled.
I know,
shoplifting. Like now it's like you gotta say some bad stuff. She just like stole something.
Dude, motherfuckers were straight up treating her like Saddam Hussein for doing that. That was out of control. Me and my cousin the other day were laughing hysterically, reminiscing on Jameis Winston stealing those crab legs. Like this motherfucker really put crab legs in his pocket and walked out looking mad suspicious. People just be doing shit. This question here from Lugosi. Thoughts on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Apes together strong. Yeah, no, that is true, Lugosi. Apes together strong.
I liked it a lot, but I don't think it's as good as definitely the last two of the trilogy, the Matt Reeves trilogy. I think it still looks great. I think the mocap technology, especially in the age where it seems like every film that relies on CGI is ripe for criticism. I thought it looked flawless, like they always do. I think story-wise, it was a bit lacking, especially with the main characters, but it's still a very good movie.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was entertaining. As you said, it does pale a bit in comparison to the Matt Reeves films and that first Planet of the Apes when they rebooted it. But good. Yeah, it's one of those where it was just so unexpected that those previous movies were going to be so good and end up on people's year-end lists. And then this one comes out and it's just, your typical summer blockbuster. Good, but not quite great. From Matt Sampson, favorite performance of all your favorite movies so far this year? Yeah, I talked about Willa Fitzgerald and Strange Darling. If that's a movie that you could still catch in theaters, I'd highly recommend going to check that one out. 5 minutes in, it was shocking to see where they were going with it. I was like, oh shit, man. that was a great time.
Is there a better feeling when something happens or it's revealed that this is what they're going to be doing and you're like, oh fuck?
No, yeah, it's the best.
It's such a great,
because it just sets the mood for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Performances, I'll go leading actress, maybe Mikey Madison. Supporting, we go Rebecca Ferguson. I'm gonna go Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
she talks to me.
Maybe, I don't know, this is off the fucking top of the dome. Lead, probably Adrian Brody, and supporting maybe Guy Pearce, actually.
Ooh, hell yeah, love Guy Pearce. Love his baby mama too. This question here from Alex. Where do you think Kinds of Kindness ranks in Yorgos's filmography? Well, I'll tell you this. I watched Yorgos's first movie the other day, Kaneda. Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. It's always fun when a great director has an absolute stinker as his first movie, because every now and then it happens.
Now I understand, even though The Killer was good, but Yorgos went back and remade that because he's better now, and that was a story he liked. Yeah, all right, yeah, make your own movies.
No, he ain't remaking that shit, dude. I'll tell you that. No, but you could tell that he was. It's fun to watch because, like I said, you can tell that he was figuring things out. It's got a lot of traces of his tics and his sensibilities as a director that he would eventually perfect.
2.4 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, no, it stinks, dude. And then his next movie is arguably my favorite of his. So, yeah, he learned a lot in those 4 years.
What was after that?
Dogtooth.
Oh, wow, okay.
But, everything after has been been pretty good.
Well,
or
with
great.
anthologies, it's tough. You view it as a whole, I guess, but like, what if you really liked one part of it and you know, like really like the other parts?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you compare? You know, I don't know, like, say you really like the first story. Like, do you put that in like separate rankings, or is it all just you got to take it as one?
No, I think you have to take it as one. Because
Yeah.
even though it is an anthology, puppets on Yorgos' stage.
Well, that's like what like Wes Anderson did. Like he just made a bunch of shorts instead of putting them all together.
Right, right.
Yes, it can be viewed as an anthology if you combine them, but they're very much separate pieces. So even though they're all based on the same author.
Yeah, if I had to like divvy up his films in tiers, going back to tiers, you know, tier 1, Poor Things, The Favorite, Dogtooth, Killing of the Sacred Deer. And then this to me is in tier 2, maybe at the top of tier 2, because I think I do enjoy this more than The Lobster. Yeah, and it's better than obviously the Canetta.
Yeah, I think it's tier 2. Tier 1, the same, like Favorite, Favorite, and Poor Things.
Yeah, that's one that people are going to years down the road be like, Kinds of Kindness is actually his best. And I'm going to be like,
maybe.
Yeah, no, yeah, you got a point. You're a very smart person, my beautiful, loving wife.
Your wife's gonna, your future wife's gonna.
I mean, if my wife isn't about that Yorgos life, then I don't want her.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good wife to have if like one day she's like, yeah, I feel like you're sleeping on Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah, you know, like, are you kidding me? I'd be like, God, I love you. You're the best.
Yeah. Men just want one thing, and it's to be told they're sleeping on Yorgos Lanthimos films. What if she hits you with the you're sleeping on Canetta?
Oh, man.
Divorce?
No, that'd be an interesting to test the, my love.
What if she talks down, like really talks down on you about it? You just don't get it. You're so dense.
Oof, yeah, eyes. No, that's divorce. Yeah, that's. And she's rich, so at least I'm walking away with half.
My mother was right.
Being consoled by my mom, like, you're not dense. You're very good at breaking down movies. Nobody dissects a film like you, especially Yorgos. This question here from Mohammed. What's up, Mo? What TV show, movie, franchise would you guys like to see adapted into an open world video game? For Muhammad, he says Avatar: The Last Airbender, but an avatar that we've never heard or seen. Damn, that actually sounds like a really fun game, dude. Just running around as the avatar, learning how to firebend, airbend, waterbend, and earthbend. I would like Kinds of Kindness, the first one, to be an open world video game where you just
have to do whatever Willem Dafoe tells you to do.
Yeah, no, you have to go around doing absurd, ridiculous tasks based on the whims of one Willem Dafoe.
He would be telling people to do that type of shit.
But there's so many, I mean, especially when it comes to blockbusters. But I've said for a long time, give me an open world Westeros, man. Just give me a new story.
Yeah. I mean, they had a Telltale game, but obviously that's not the same.
But even the storyline for the Telltale game where you're like the long lost Stark sibling, right? Or some shit like that.
But
or no, you're like an underling.
Bullshit, because like the real story.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like give me like maybe
post Game of Thrones. Bran's king.
Yeah, honestly, don't hate that. Like Realm just went through this rebuilding process. You're a knight in the north, maybe, where you get to choose. You can fight under Sansa, or you can be in King's Landing.
Yeah.
Well, if George write it,
oh,
it'll never fucking come out.
No.
Where are you on kids writing, like taking up their father's legacy?
George doesn't have kids, right? Maybe if he adopts somebody.
But I always feel that's weird. It's like, you ain't your dad.
No, I mean, that's why George always spoke out against it. He was like, listen, if I don't finish before I die, I don't want anybody else to finish this because it's my work. And I think even for, not only just someone you're related to, but just anyone, it's weird. But as a fan of something, as a fan of Winds of Winter or Game of Thrones, if somebody told me, oh, no Winds of Winter or somebody else finishes it, I'm probably going to take the latter.
I think I would rather read his notes than somebody taking his notes and making it.
Yeah, I think so too. If they publish his notes or something like that.
Just stick figures and symbols.
This question here from Josh Kinsella. What's the story, lads, from Ireland? What's the better portrayal? Just kidding. I'll say that in an American accent. Oh,
yeah, that was very offensive. I hope he unsubscribes.
What was the better portrayal, Fade Rotha or Andy from Alien? Shout out to Josh, longtime listener.
Not anymore.
By the third time I saw that movie, I always got a kick out of him saying, "What do we do?" because I think it's just such a funny English sentence. And it's also the way he says it. It's just a funny combination of English words. It almost made me feel like I was experiencing what English would sound like if I didn't speak English. Because I heard it and it just sounded so funny to me. What do we do?
That's interesting because I think
Do we do?
Austin Butler is great, but also when it comes to David Johnson, like playing two different roles, essentially.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So he played two different roles very well versus someone who played one role very well, maybe better than the other two. But how do you weigh that? And Dune being the better movie and having better moments, playing off of better actors, I believe. So I might have to go. I'll go Austin Butler.
It is very tough, man.
Yeah.
When you factor in all those things. I mean, that's what George C. Scott, when he refused his Oscar, he didn't believe in comparing performances for that reason. But if we're being forced to by our good friend Josh, I'm also going to go Austin Butler. It's
my
just
good friend. He hates you.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm Protestant to Josh now.
Yo, he probably loved our English bit before though.
Yeah, no, that's hysterical. Yeah, but I mean, both performances were great. Dave Johnson, super impressive. I just started Industry, and he's in that, and he's also very good. So, yeah, shout out Dave Johnson. The Andy switch will be talked about for a long time. That was incredible. It was just a great moment. All right, last question here. Oh, good question here from Euro. How disappointed do you feel when a terrible film succeeds at the box office while good films fail?
It's tough because, I mean, any box office success, I think you got to view as a win regardless in this day and age. If you're a fan of cinema as a whole, like if it's Twisters, if it's fucking Madam Web, if it's fucking Venom 3, like without, like, I don't know, it's kind of help keeping it all afloat at some level.
Yeah, I think we've also...
Madam Web made money, but it's just like that type of movie, if that got popular. It's just something that, yeah, you kind of got to root for it as a whole. It's like when SEC fans, if you're like Alabama and they get knocked out, but they still root for the conference, even though they fucking hate Auburn. But it's like, well, it's the SEC. It's like, even though you hate it, it's still kind of like, well, we need something to help keep this all afloat.
Yeah, like a lot of the top movies this year are movies that you would expect. I don't think there's anything that makes me too upset. Inside Out 2 has made a shit ton of money. It's closing in on 1.7. Domestically, it made 650. Deadpool and Wolverine's at 1.3. Despicable Me, it is what it is. About 70 million off of $1 billion. But then you see something like Dune Part 2, which had a really nice bump from the first Dune to where it can consider it a hit.
Inside Out 2 made it. I didn't even realize it made that much money.
Inside Out 2?
Yeah.
It's been in theaters forever, dude. They've just kept it in theaters.
Holy shit.
If you look up United Artists right now, there's probably 4 showings. It was actually good. Yeah. I liked it. Pretty much the same quality as the first. Yeah, no, that shocked me too, because it was a few months ago, I was hanging out with my little cousins and they were like, yeah, Inside Out 2 has made the most money this year. And I was like, really? I didn't know you guys were working at Box Office Mojo.
Should let them review it.
Yeah, no, I should have.
But yeah, it is like... It's frustrating. I mean, when you look at like Twisters making 367, which makes sense, but then we talked about like Furiosa making 172. You know, Challengers 94, which is like not bad for Challengers, I guess. But
I thought that was going to do more, man.
It's not the days where those type of movies are going to like make $300 million just because they're good, you know?
No, if that comes out 10, 15 years ago, that's a $350 million movie. That's like this movie, It Ends With Us, with Blake Lively, made $300 million worldwide.
Yeah, and that movie had terrible reviews.
Yeah, it did. Terrible press, too. But, you know, based on a book that was very popular.
Yeah, so... Bad Boys 403. It's cool to see Dune in that top 4, especially after the performance of the first movie.
Yeah, there's it's just we're too far gone when it comes to how things used to be in Hollywood and expecting studios to being more confident in the movies that they're putting out. So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, look at like 1999. I just typed in a random one. Obviously Star Wars #1, but Sixth Sense, 672 million.
Right.
You have the Toy Story, The Matrix. The Matrix 1, I mean, I get it. It was something unique coming out, but still the first movie before the franchise was the franchise. Tarzan, 448. But American Beauty, $356 million.
Yeah.
Like, Green Mile, 286 million.
Yeah, those
Even
Stephen
American
King
Pie
movies.
and Big Daddy both making 235 million. Like we're just not seeing that anymore. Stuart Little at 300. Yep.
The big dog.
Runaway Bride, 309 million. See, that's when like just stars like Julia Roberts could just make 300 plus million just for being Julia Roberts, you know?
Right. Dude, even
Double
when you think
Jeopardy,
of
177.
Arrival made $200 million at the worldwide box office. I don't think that even comes close to that if it came out today.
And it should have made more.
Yeah. No, that's when we were already kind of seeing the like, oh, okay, this makes a lot, but if it came out 10 years earlier, it'd probably make even more.
And those numbers, like with inflation, are probably way higher.
Yeah. And La La Land made like 400 million. 472.
Ooh, 1995, Casper outgrossing 7 by 300K. I see you, Casper. This is fun. I'm going to be looking at fucking box office history.
Yeah, no, that is fun.
Bean made $251 million in 1997, which is probably like $500 million today. Liar, 181. Air Force One, 172.
Oh, man, dude. Harrison Ford is president? Come on, that should have made more.
A New Hope Special Edition made 138. People are just going to the movies. Like, these movies are all outgrossing comparatively if you adjust everything from today, except for a handful of movies that are either franchises or animated sequels.
Who do you think milked it more, George Lucas with Star Wars or Kendrick Lamar with Not Like Us?
Kendrick.
Oh, man.
I don't disagree with him getting the Super Bowl because I was thinking about it. Like, what the fuck's Lil Wayne going to play? Like, what's his commercial Super Bowl halftime hits?
Go DJ. That my DJ.
Not his best music and not what got him popular in the first place.
Go DJ was a fucking hit. Ladies and gentlemen.
That's not bringing down the house in 2024.
Yeah, but that's the warm-up. You go through the eras. And then all of a sudden,
6'7", like
the fireman coming.
That's not
fireman. And then the fucking fire starts coming out of the floor and shit.
I don't know. I mean, I would like to hear like,
and then and then Kanye comes out for the remix.
Chill
a chick like Doritos. That's nacho cheese. And then you fucking end on a milli.
I mean, you think he ends on a milli?
Come on, man. That's the fucking
7 foot.
See, Teddy was saying, yo, you should have heard the set list that Teddy was coming up for Lil Wayne Super Bowl. He was like, sky's the limit. Like, it was like all these niche mixtape Wayne songs. He's like, banned from TV.
We're not hearing that. That's what I want to hear. Like, that's the Wayne I like, but we're not hearing like those mixtape.
Dude, he could do 4 off of the Carter 3. If he came out with T-Pain and did Got Money, Mrs. Officer.
His highest viewed songs on YouTube: Mirror with Bruno Mars, Lollipop, Love Me.
Oh my God, yeah. With Future?
Those songs fucking suck so bad.
Yeah, but for crowd settings, you have to think of it. It's the Super Bowl.
How to Love?
Oh my God, I would break down in tears.
Someone said like, "This, you really want Lil Wayne to come out and play Knockout?"
Maybe if Nicki Minaj is gonna do her verse.
I don't hate that. Hey, Bobby.
I mean, dude, when that was announced, I literally have a Spotify playlist. I was expecting Lil Wayne to be announced. I've been like curating a set list for him. I just thought it would be cool, but I think it's more so that he's just not the performer he once was.
Yeah.
He used to be 10, 15 years ago. He was a good performer. He was never great, but just his stage presence, his energy. Like, I just watched a 2011 VMAs when he ended with John, which was the song he had with Rick Ross, which wasn't a major hit, but he was so into it that it ended up just being a fun performance. But and Kendrick's is one of the best live performers of any genre right now.
But the people who grew up with Lil Wayne and like who think he's the best, they think that because of like No Ceilings and shit like that, which aren't shit he's going to perform in a Super Bowl halftime setting.
No. He's going to do a couple. You got to go with the Carters. That's the thing. Go DJ is hitting a generation. Like the generation above us, Generation X, they're going to be like, oh shit, oh, Go DJ? They used to be my shit back in the day. And then going to Fireman. Fireman.
No, he's got to do Ice Cream Paint Job. He's got to come out with
or if he did Stun Like My Daddy. Lights. Flashing Lights was a total that wasn't even a real verse on that song.
I know.
That was a LimeWire classic. So they took Jay-Z's verses from Success.
Back when I was better than my 10-speed bike. Who will be telling in this? No.
The prom queen. No, I mean, Jay-Z straight up snaked Wayne and Drake, so that's hilarious.
Dude, he's going to be having 100,000 people in a stadium calling him a pedophile.
Well, that was the talk, too. Does he do Not Like Us? I don't think he'll do the full song. I think it definitely plays.
He's going to go, certified lover boy, certified. And everyone's going to do it in the crowd. He's like, I'm not going to, I didn't say it.
There's no fucking way, yo. Wop, 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 wop. I mean, people saying that Kendrick doesn't have hits too is that they're making the same argument about Kendrick, that he doesn't have enough songs to play the Super Bowl.
I mean, but they're so recent too. Like, I think you can come out with like,
I think Swimming Pools would be a good one.
Yeah, I think you could do Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Just like if you set the vibe right and maybe kick it a little bit more up tempo, like there is a world where that works. What if he just does fucking Problems and gets Drake back?
Wow, I forgot they were on that together.
Kendrick Lamar. You could do Humble. You could.
Humble, definitely. Yeah. DNA. Got to do Humble. Yeah.
Humble DNA, like that's all right. I mean, King Kunta.
I think All Right will be played, and I think King Kunta as well.
Yeah, imagine like you get ready, come back for commercial, the stadium's fucking dark, crowd's getting a little buzz to it, and all you hear is, I got a bone to pick.
Yeah.
Just hops out of a fucking helicopter or some cool shit.
Starts crib walking.
Tom Cruise is there.
I don't hate that. Yeah. No other musical guests, but just random celebrities. Morgan Freeman narrating it.
No, Future's gonna come out. Fucking like I can't think of his fucking name.
The guy who shot Drake and Degrassi. Special guest.
Megan.
Yeah. All
Not
Drake's enemies.
Miranda Cosgrove.
Oh, right. Okay.
She was giving Drake the business in that Drake and Josh show.
Well, then the Kendrick fans are going to be like, man, he's so meta. That motherfucker's layered.
No, I mean, he can carry a show.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. Like I said, it's just
bring out J. Cole.
Jay-Z is fucking hysterical, dude. That guy he was just with Wayne 2 weeks ago, and then this drops. He's a funny man. Everybody's pointing to his verse on Light Up when he was like, the Barzini meeting, watch for the traitors. And everyone's like, Jay-Z turned out to be Barzini. Oh, that's good stuff. All right, guys, we're going to end it there. That's our little commentary on movies and Super Bowl and the presidential debate. Hope you liked it. Hope you share it and hope you subscribed if you are not already. Aaron, thanks as always for joining me. Yeah, looking forward to it. We're probably going to take some of these leftover fan questions, and record a Patreon podcast. So, yeah.
Funny thing, too, is Drake's going to put like a $1.5 million bet that's not going to hit on the Super Bowl. He's going to have a fucking bad Sunday.
That's actually really funny, man. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. They got gambling problems, drinking problems, pill popping addiction problems. Bad with money.
February 2, so the Maple Leafs, they're going to be falling off at that point.
And it's going to be cold as fuck in Canada, too, man. February.
It's going to be so cold. That was fucking cold last week.
Yeah. Could be freezing his ass off up there in the embassy.
I still like Drake.
Bah, 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 bah. I can't lie. I was listening to Hotline Bling today. Keep making me dance, waving my hand, and it won't be no threat.
I like Nice for What. I think I like the message behind it. I think it's a good tune. I like the music.
Yeah, I like Nice for What too. Down with me, down
Jones
with
in
me.
The music video.
Damn, that man's just he can't just leave anybody alone. He a fan. All right, guys, we'll see you very soon.